In the yesterday's lecture, we have studied about the conducting tissue, that is xylem in the phloem, and also about the transpiration pool and the root pressure. In the today's lecture, we are going to study in details regarding the transpiration pool and the transport of food and other substance in the plant. So let's begin with it. Now, previously you have performed the activity of observing a branch covered in a plastic bag. Now, what did you observe in that activity? Now, if we tie a plastic bag to a branch and kept it in the sunlight for 5 to 6 hours and then observe the plastic bag, we will see the we will see the droplets on the inner surface of the plastic bag. Now, why this has been happened? Now, In the plants gives out the water in the form of vapor through the stomata and the leaves, and this process is known as the transpiration pool. Now you can see here the plastic bag has been tied to the branch of the tree and after 5 to 6 hours you can see the droplets in the picture. You can see the droplets has been formed in the inner side of the plastic bag. Now why this has been happened? This has been happened due to the vapors come out through the stomata and which are present on the leaf of the plants, and this process is known as the transpiration pool. The amount of water present in the epidermis of the leaves decreases, and the plants and these cells control the opening and the closing of the stomata. The transpiration occurs through the stomata. Water is released into the atmosphere by leaves through the process of evaporation. As a result, water level in the epidermal layer of the leaf decreases. Now, water is brought up to the leaf to the xylem so as to compensate for the loss of water. Now you can see here the transpiration, that is the water has been evaporated through the leaves of the plants, and that has to be compensated, and that will be compensated with the help of the xylem at the night time, as we have studied in the root pressure that xylem absorbs the water from the soil, and they will push forward the water in the upward direction so that it will reach the each and every part of the plant, and they will compensate the loss of water. Transpiration helps in the absorption of water and minerals and distribution to all parts of the plants, whereas root pressure, which we have studied yesterday, performs the important role of pushing the water up during the night time. Now, this transpiration is the process which take place during the daytime, and the root pressure is the process which will be take place during the night time to compensate the loss of water which take place during the daytime due to the evaporation of water from the stomata. You have seen the structure of stomata. This is the structure of the stomata. You can see these are the guard cell. These are the guard cell. We will see it in detail. This is the structure of stomata, and these are the guard cell which will help to close and open the stomata. It will be open during the day and closed during the night, so that the xylem will compensate the loss of water. So there is also gaseous exchange with the help of the stomata. The carbon dioxide and the oxygen gaseous exchange will take place, and other inorganic substance will be also exchanges through the stomata. So transpiration pool is the process which will take place during the daytime, and root pressure will help to compensate the water loss which happens due to the transpiration at the night time. Now you can see here the root pressure is what we have studied, that is this turgid, the cell become turgid and they will exert pressure on the adjacent cell, and this will help them to push the water in the upward direction and form the water columns. Now do you know the oak tree releases about 1,51,000 liters of water into the air by the process of transpiration. With the help of transpiration, see how much the oak tree has been released the water in the air. It is about 1,51,000 liters. And also the maize tree gives out about 11,400 to 15,100 of liters of water per day. So this is how much the water has been transpired from these plants. Now we will move towards the transportation of food and other substances in plants. The food, the food produced in leaves is transported to each cell in the plant body. Excess food except amino acid is stored in the roots, fruits and seeds. The food produced the food produced in leaves how the food is produced in the leaves with the help of the photosynthesis. As we know, the chlorophyll pigments are present in the green part of the plant, and they will help to produce the food with the help of the sunlight, and this food will be transported to each cell in the plant body. Now excess of food except the amino acid is stored in roots, fruits and seed. This process is known as what? Translocation of material, means producing the food and then transporting it to the each and every part or each and every cell of the plant body, and this is known as, and the storing of excess of food is known as what? Translocation of the material. It is carried out in both the upward and the downward direction by the phloem. As we have studied earlier also, xylem conducts the water and phloem conducts the food. Xylem will conduct the water in upward direction only, but the phloem conducts the food in both the direction, and it will supply the food to each and every cell of the plant body. Now, translocation of materials is not a simple process. It requires energy. Now, which energy is required to translocation to take place? This energy is obtained from the ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So, this ATP will help to translocate the food from one part to where it is synthesis to the other parts of the plant body. Now, whenever food material like sucrose is transported towards a part of a plant via the phloem with the help of ATP, the water concentration decreases in that plant. You can see here, whenever food material like sucrose is transported towards a part of a plant via the phloem, mean whenever the food is transported with the help of phloem, and ATP energy is being used, the water concentration, here you can see the water concentration has been decreased. As a result of this, the water enters the cell by the diffusion. You can see here the water molecules will decrease, and the water will enter into it, and that process is known as the diffusion. The pressure on the cell wall increases due to increase in the cellular contents. Due to the increased pressure, food is pushed into the neighboring cells where the pressure is low. You can see here, if there is a more increase in the concentration of the molecule, they will exert the pressure on the adjacent cell, and they will transfer the food in the adjacent cells. Now this process helps the phloem to transport the material to the neighboring cell, and also as per the need of the plant. During flowering season, the sugar stored in roots or stem is transported towards the floral buds to make them open and blossom. During the flowering season, the sugar which is stored excess of sugar has been stored, that sugar will be transported to the floral buds, which is stored in the roots and the stem, is being transported towards the floral buds to make them open and the blossom. So whatever excess of food material has been stored, it has been utilized for the further use, like blossoming, opening of the flower, sometimes the fruit fallen. So for that reason, this stored food has been utilized for the next purposes. You can see here the translocation, how it takes place. The xylem will carry out the water in the upward direction. The water will pass on to the phloem. When it will pass on, there is an increase in the concentration of the molecules. When there is an increase in the concentration, they will exert pressure on adjacent cell and they will distribute themselves in the adjacent cell, and they will the whatever food material is stored, that will be passed in the required part. If it is required by the floral bud to blossom, then the sugar from the root and the stem will be transported to that certain parts. So what is transpiration pool? Transpiration pool is when you can observe it with the help of doing a small experiment, like when you are tying the plastic bag to the branch of the tree for 5 to 6 hours, and after 5 to 6 hours you can see the droplets inside the plastic bag. And why these droplets has been formed? Due to the gaseous exchange and evaporation from the stomata, and stomata will be open to during the daytime and closed during the night time, as they will exchange the gases. Also, to compensate the water, the xylem will help to compensate it with the help of the root pressure, which will take place during the night time. Transpiration pool will take place during the daytime, and the root pressure will help to compensate the water during the night time. And this transpiration pool, in oak plant, there is about 1,51,000 liters of water has been transpired per day, and in maize plant, about 11,400 to 15,100 liters of water each day has been transpired from the maize plants. And for food which has been stored, excess of food has been stored in the plants, and that excess, the storing of excess food except the amino acid, is known as what? Translocation. And this will be done with the help of the energy, and that energy is obtained from the ATP. The stored material, that is, if the sucrose is stored, the sugar will be stored, and which will be used up when the flower needs it. Suppose during the flowering season, flower needs sugar, so the stored sugar which is stored in the roots and in stem will be transported to the certain part which is required. Now we will see one video regarding this.
Transpiration pool. If we tie a transparent plastic bag on a branch of a plant, keep it in sunlight for 5 to 6 hours, and then observe the plastic bag, what do you see? Yes, you are right. We see droplets of water on the inner surface of the plastic bag. Why does this happen? Plants give out water in the form of water vapor through the stomata present in the leaves. This process is called transpiration. Water is given out in the form of water vapor in the atmosphere through the leaves. Thus, the amount of water present in the epidermis of the leaves decreases. In order to replace the water which is lost, water is brought to the leaves through the xylem. This initiates the suction of water from the xylem cells of the roots, and the xylem cells of the roots in turn absorb more water. Thus, transpiration pool helps in absorption of water and minerals, and also helps in conducting it to all the parts of the plant. This process happens when the stomata are open, that is, during daytime, while the effect of root pressure is important during night. Through the science window, an oak tree may transpire from its leaves approximately 151,000 liters of water per year, while an acre of corn crop gives off approximately 11,400 to 15,100 liters of water each day. Now let us proceed to learn about the transport of food and other substances in a plant. Transport of food and other substances in plants. Food manufactured in the cells of the leaves is transported to every cell. Besides amino acids, excess food is stored in the roots, fruits, and seeds. This process is called translocation. The process of translocation takes place through phloem in the upward as well as downward direction. Translocation is not a simple physical process, but it needs energy. This energy is obtained from ATP. When food material like sucrose is transferred to the phloem tissue using ATP, the concentration of water molecules decreases in that area. This causes the movement of water into the cells due to osmosis. The increased contents within the cells exert a high amount of pressure on their walls. This pressure moves the food materials to the adjacent cells with low pressure. This allows the phloem to move material according to the plant's needs. In the flowering season, sugar stored in the roots or stem is translocated to the buds for growing them into flowers. After studying about the life process transportation, let us now learn about excretion.
Okay, now we have done with the transpiration of pool and the transportation of food and other substances in plants. Now we will play some one quiz regarding this, and let's see how much we have understood with that. So be ready for the quiz. Now I would like you to please open the QUIZIZZ, that is quiz.com, and please enter this code in the to join code where the code has been asked. So please first open this window on the Google Chrome, that is quiz.com, and join the game. That is quiz we are going to play regarding the today's lecture. And enter this code, that is 2783436. Students, please do it fast. Yes, Abhay has done it. Come on, fast do it. That we will start. Yes, very good. Join fast. Then we will start it. Sixteen only. What about the others? Join the game fast. We will wait for another 1 minute and then we will start. Students, please start, join the quiz fast. Let's see how much we have understood. Now let's start with it. You have to answer. There will be the options. Out of two options, you have to select one correct answer. You will see the question on your screen. Click on the answers. Click on the answers and move further. Come on, do it fast. We will be having the 10 questions. Let's see how much we have understood and who will win the quiz. Come on, do it fast.